Lhasa, a place as enigmatic as Machu Picchu and as spiritual as Jerusalem, is known by some as the roof of the world and by others as the city of eternal sun. But very few have had the opportunity to delve into the intimacy of its daily life. As we are about to do,
we are arriving at the community where the person who invited us to his home lives.
from the heart of a Tibetan home to the classrooms of Tibet University. Throughout this series, we will travel beyond the myth to discover what real life is like in one of the most mysterious places on the planet. And the story begins here.
Today we're going to fly to the roof of the world from the city of Nanning, and we don't know what to expect. Because here we're at 70 meters above sea level, but over there we'll be at over 3,000, about 3,500, and then we'll go up to more than 5,000 meters. In fact, they recommended that we take some medicine starting 10 days before, but since I'm taking another medication, I couldn't do it. So maybe it will affect us a little more, I don't know, because we come from Toluca, which is a city in Mexico that's also pretty high up. So maybe we've developed some resistance, but only time will tell. Nephi, how are you feeling today?
Healthy?
We brought breakfast. Here we brought a papaya because the problem during our 88-day series was the food. We ate nothing but junk, and in the end I ended up getting sick. They did surgery on me, you can see the video here. And well, now we're trying to do better.
That's life.
Welcome to Nanning Airport. It's our first time here, but it won't be the last because it's a very beautiful city. I love that here at Nanning Airport the staff are dressed in the clothes of the local ethnic minorities. And that's because Guangxi province is one of the most diverse in the whole country, and it's a very good way to represent them.
Tickets ready? Let's go into the boarding gate area.
I think this is one of the first times we've seen a fruit shop inside an airport. And that's because we're in a part of China where fruit grows really well, and in fact it's some of the cheapest in the country. The other day we bought 2 papayas for 5 yuan, which is about 15 pesos. And look at these funny little fruits. It's a Buddha. I don't even know what kind of fruit it is.
What fruit is this?
Some kind of melon.
And I don't know how they give it that Buddha shape. I've never heard of Yidango egg fruit. What is this? What is this?
That's passion fruit.
Like the Chinese? Just like them. They're passionate.
That's right.
And this one here, I don't know what it is.
It's a kiwano.
Kiwano?
It's a tropical fruit.
This stand only sells fruits that are representative of the area. That's why there are some exotic ones we haven't seen, and papayas are also very classic here. We already have our papaya. See? That's why we brought breakfast. Thanks. Alright, thank you.
We already have the fruits.
The fruits, look how beautiful they are. Look how beautiful the Shenzhen Airlines very important person lounges are. They also welcome you with girls dressed in the area's traditional clothing, which are the UN ethnic minorities. And that little ball they carry in their hand represents the ethnic minorities of Guangxi province. Hello?
Will you take a picture with us?
Okay. Let's participate. I'm going to stand there with this backpack and you're going to throw the balls. Because if they fall inside the local culture, it means you'll have a lot of luck.
Why are you taking it out of your butt?
I don't know. Alright, Nephi. What are these eggs for?
It's also an activity. It's an egg war. They draw a face on it, smash one against another, and the one that breaks loses.
That's cool. Look, it's like we both have an egg and we smash them, and the one that breaks first loses. They invited us to see the very important person lounge of the Shenzhen Airlines. We're not even flying on this one. But it's actually pretty nice. This is the typical food of the area, which is rice of different colors. They have little hamburgers, drinks, salad, chocolates. Look, they have payomian, which are instant noodles, pistachios, water, coffee. Thank you. And the lounge is very nice. Look at the relaxation area. And here you have a screen where you can see what time your flight is. Massage chairs. Is that also free?
Yes.
Wow, what a great deal. We're already in the waiting room and a lot of people are staring at us because we're the only foreigners. And that's because Shenzhen is actually a pretty relatively remote area. Like I said, it's known as the roof of the world, and it's not a region commonly visited by foreigners yet, because this place has so much to offer. And that's why we're going, so you can see what things you can find over there and how to get to them, because there's so much. I think this is the trip that's going to make us never want to fly again. Oh damn. The plane just dropped suddenly, and I don't know if it was due to the weather, mountains, or something else, but it was intense. We've arrived in Lhasa so far. How do you feel about the altitude?
Well, you can feel it, but we're still within the reasonable range of symptoms.
Here is a typical welcome from Tibetan culture where they greet us with traditional clothing and an offering of incense. And also the language, which is very beautiful. And in the back, I imagine that's the Potala temple, which is one of the most iconic places in this area of China. And one of the most important places we'll visit throughout this trip. It's crazy to arrive in Lhasa. And suddenly there are different faces, Tibetan faces, which are very different from the faces of the Han ethnicity. But you can notice the difference not only in the tone, the skin, but also in the facial features. It's a very different ethnicity. And that's what we like most about China, that if you go to the south, you find ethnic minorities that resemble those from Thailand and Vietnam. If you go to the north, you find Chinese, Russians, and if you come to Shenzhen, you find the Tibetan ethnicity. It's something very beautiful and very interesting, but nothing is more beautiful than arriving at Lhasa airport.
I'm speechless.
It's amazing to think that we're at 3,500 and something meters above sea level, but at the same time we're surrounded by mountains that are even higher than this. And that's because this airport is located along the southern bank of the Yarlung Tsangpo River and is surrounded by mountains that reach 5,000 and 6,126 meters in height. Just imagine how hard it must be to breathe up there, but we're going to reach those heights during the week we're going to spend here on the roof of the world. He will be our driver apparently today. His name is Mr. Lawson and he is Tibetan. Mr. Lawson, hello? Mr. Lawson brings oxygen here in case someone gets sick. It's not necessary right now, thank you, but maybe later. Now I understand why there was so much turbulence on the plane. And that's because it's one of the highest airports in the world and it's surrounded by such tall mountains. Pilots require special training to operate under these conditions, especially during afternoon flights. In fact, most flights arriving in Lhasa are scheduled in the morning to avoid those strong winds. And yes, I remember that the flight attendant warned us that as we approached the airport, there was a high chance of strong turbulence. But Noelia didn't hear it, so she was really scared.
Yes, I was holding Max's arm so tightly I was about to rip it off. They just gave us this medicine which is supposed to be for the altitude, and it's called Hongjingtian. It's known in Spanish as rhodiola or golden root.
The belief is that it helps the body adapt better to the lack of oxygen at extreme altitudes, and it also helps prevent altitude sickness. And the symptoms, which are headache, nausea, fatigue, and dizziness. Wow, look at that tunnel and the entrance. Everything is a reflection of the impressive local architecture, which really reminds us of the temples we saw in Sinhai or in
Shangri-La.
It's typical Tibetan architecture. It's very beautiful, but here they've included it even in the bridges, in the airport, in practically everything you see. It's really impressive. There are a lot of interesting facts about this road, which is quite recent. Actually, the first version was built around 1950, but it was a narrow and dangerous road that was only for military or cargo vehicles. But the current highway was expanded and improved between 2004 and 2011. This turned it into a fast and safe road to connect the airport with the city of Lhasa. But something even more interesting is that the current version is built using anti-seismic techniques that use flexible foundations. Like the Liubu Bridge, which has pillars with rubber and steel dampers that absorb vibrations. On the other hand, there are the tunnels where flexible concrete linings are used to prevent cracks. And that's because the Tibet area is located in the Himalayan seismic belt. And the most severe historical earthquake ever recorded in this area was 8.5 magnitude in 1950. In addition, there are several active faults, such as the Yarlung Fault, which is capable of generating earthquakes with magnitudes of 7 or higher. But another interesting thing is the time zone. If you notice, right now it's 8 in the evening and there's still daylight here. And that's why it's known as the City of Light. Nigfer, what happened here?
What is this place?
We had seen luxury hotels before, but then there's the Intercontinental in Lhasa, and from a distance you just see these impressive pyramid-like structures. And I said, it must be a monument or something like that, but then we started getting closer. And we saw the Intercontinental sign, and look, the Intercontinental is always a good hotel, but in other parts of China it doesn't even look this luxurious. What do you think about the Intercontinental in Lhasa?
I live in the Potala Palace.
It's like spending a night in the Potala Palace, with its characteristic architecture, and the roof is transparent. So you can enjoy the stars, since this area has the cleanest air in the world, because it's so high up, all the pollution stays in other places. Wow, and 1,000 wows.
There are no hotels more impressive than the Intercontinental ones in China. They have amazing facilities, but this one takes the prize.
And just so you know, this isn't sponsored. Look at the details of the hotel. From the ceilings to the walls that emulate ancient construction, everything is very well taken care of. Oh, and how about the robot going through the hotel lobby? There goes the robot.
China is living in 2050, huh?
This is the hotel reception, also with very well taken care of details. I don't know what that painting means, but it gives it a pretty mystical vibe. Over here we have something like a scale model of the mountains or rock formations found in Tibet, and these bags are also very beautiful. Breakfast is going to be right here, like in the central plaza of the mini Intercontinental Palace.
This hotel just keeps getting better and better. And I don't know why, but this hallway reminds me of the Titanic. We've gone from the Potala Palace to the Titanic in the same hotel. By the way, this Intercontinental is the highest Intercontinental in the whole world. Also, it's one of the largest hotels in the world with more than 1,300 rooms. Room time! We're in the foyer of our room. On the left side, we have the bathroom, which also has a kind of Titanic style. I don't know if the palaces in this area of China had this kind of decoration, but everything is just spectacular. Look at the wallpaper on the walls. It looks like it was hand-painted. We have the toilet separated from the shower and the bathtub. Next, let's move on to the bedroom, and we still have the wallpaper. We have a very spacious bed, a sofa like the ones I've always wanted in my house. You could say it's just an ordinary luxury room, except for the fact that you have a continuous oxygen supply that you can turn on and off. Here you can turn it off and then turn it on again. And I think what happens is that it comes out of the air conditioning vent, but I've never seen this in a hotel before. Let's check out the view. Oh, it's a shame the window isn't very clean because it has a really beautiful view.
A unique feature of this hotel is that it has a free oxygen bar.
Did you find the oxygen bar?
I found the oxygen bar, but it costs 60 yuan per hour or 260 to take it to your room. What do you think?
If you're dying, I think you'd pay whatever it takes.
For our first night in Lhasa, we're going to eat at a place called Itonyo, which means something like a cow. But in this case, it would be more like a yak, because here they serve yak hot pot, which is very typical of the area. And look, just look at how beautiful the restaurants are. They really respect the local architecture, and no matter where you look, everything shows that you're on the roof of the world or in Lhasa. The restaurants are very beautiful, and the most interesting thing is that this restaurant is a fusion of Tibetan food, and you can see it in everything, in the decorations, for example, the typical wind horse flags. The prayer wheels, which you can see in many parts of China, for example, there are a lot of them in Shanghai. And the decoration of the restaurant is simply amazing. Everything makes you feel like you're in a mystical place, which is exactly what this wonderful place deserves.
Watch out for the stairs, they can make you dizzy.
Yes, it does make you dizzy, and I also got dizzy. This is what we're going to eat. Yak hot pot or yak hot pot, and look how beautiful the Tibetan writing looks. This is the room where we'll have dinner. Thank you, Ken. Very nice room. It's decorated with local people. The painting is very beautiful, and let's see how the food is. When you enter a Chinese restaurant, you might think, how strange, why are they boiling the plates? It's not like it's plate soup, but in China it's something very special. That's how they clean the plates. In fact, they usually bring them to you in plastic packaging. You open it, they bring a pot, and you clean your plate. But this restaurant is a bit more upscale, and here you boil your own plates.
It's yak hot pot. It has 3 flavors. One is natural, another is spicy. The yak meat is local. Our supplier is very good. These yaks have an identification with a QR code from birth. Through that, you can verify their food and how they were raised. This meat is excellent.
This is the process of eating hot pot. You take a bit of vegetable, meat, or whichever ingredient you prefer and put it in the broth. You wait for it to cook, and once you take it out, you cool it down in this little sauce. There are some meats that are very special, and they ask you to leave them in for only 30 seconds, but I don't really know much about that. Our meat is already cooked, so we're going to take it out of the broth, drain it well, and put it in the little sauce we prepared so it can cool down. Because it's very, very hot, and once it's cooled down, this hot pot is out of this world.
Our best wishes.
Thank you, thank you.
We want to sing you some local songs.
Today we're going to have breakfast at the replica of the Potala Palace. It's a unique opportunity that we really appreciate. And they also have fusion cuisine. This is tsamba, which is like bread or tortillas for Tibetans. And it's made from this powder we have here, which is a type of wheat typical of the area. And it's what they have for breakfast with butter tea. Look, Nefi, try a tsamba.
It tastes like oatmeal.
Our first stop of the day is going to be at Tibet University. And you might be wondering why, out of all the wonderful places we could have visited, did we choose to start with the university? And there's a pretty simple explanation for that. I believe that to really understand how a place works, you have to understand how they educate their people. And there's no better place to do that than the University of Tibet, which also has a very interesting history because in 1951 it was established as the University of Tibet. But it was nothing more than a tent, a huge tent that had tables and chairs so that students could come and begin their journey of learning. Because back then, most of the locals didn't even know how to speak Chinese Mandarin. So this was a way for them to start integrating into Chinese society and start learning the language that would eventually give them all the opportunities they have today. Over the years, this university kept improving. And around the 1980s, the first buildings were constructed, which became what is now the main campus today. Our goal is to talk with some of the students, learn about their dreams, what they decided to study, and why they chose Tibet University. Because at this university, there are not only Tibetan students, but also students from all over the country. And the importance of this university is that it is the center for the preservation of Tibetan traditions and arts. In fact, some of its most famous areas are traditional Tibetan medicine, Tibetan dance, the Tibetan language, and Tibetan history. So today we're going to go inside to see the Faculty of Arts and some other buildings like that one over there, which is really impressive, and we're going to talk with some of the students. This is a classroom at Tibet University, so you can see it just as it is. This is where students come and practice in the Faculty of Arts. Brother, what's your major?
Erhu.
Erhu? Besides that, do you know how to play the erhu?
Yes.
But which one is more difficult?
The erhu is more difficult, I think.
And how did you learn that?
I just practiced it on my own, through trial and error.
Do you have one at home or just this one?
No, I learned with the school's piano.
How long have you been here?
Almost 3 years.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Tashi Dorje.
Tashi Dorje, nice to meet you.
And what is your specialty?
It's a traditional song from the pastoral zones, like in the mountains. Ancestral vocal singing without accompaniment.
So you're also here studying at Tibet University?
That's right.
What year are you in?
I'm currently in my 2nd year, almost moving on to the 3rd.
Do you have 2 more years left?
Yes, 2 years.
Congratulations, you sing very well.
Thank you.
Thank you. We were given the honor of joining a traditional Tibetan music class. He is the teacher and those two are his students. Very beautiful. Teacher, could you tell us what this is?
This is a Janian.
Janian?
It's the most traditional Tibetan instrument. Jan means sound and Nian means beautiful.
Beautiful sound? Well, it really is a beautiful sound.
Exactly.
Very well. Is it made of snake skin?
This one is made of snakeskin, but traditionally it's made of sheepskin or lambskin.
Is the boys' specialty music?
Yes, they specifically study this instrument. The program lasts 7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
When did you start learning?
Since they finished elementary school.
Thank you very much. We loved it. Goodbye. Now we came to see the university's faculty of dance, and I don't think it's a local dance. This one looks more like ballet. But we were surprised by one of the girls who is with us because she is also a dancer, so she's going to perform a great piece with our Tibetan friends. Now we went out to the main courtyard, and the students were dancing. They told us that this is a dance that is becoming very popular among students and young Tibetans. And normally during breaks or after leaving school they practice it here, in the main block. This occurs not only in Tibet but also throughout much of China. One of the most popular activities or hobbies among all groups and all ages is dancing. And I think it's great because it's a very healthy way to spend time, to exercise and to socialize with other people because really nice groups are formed. Don't you dance?
Look at my friend, she looks very pretty.
She is very beautiful, yes. You speak good English.
I know.
You speak English?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, but do you speak Mandarin?
Yes, of course I speak Mandarin.
Does anyone here speak English?
She can.
Can you...
She's the best speaker in our class. No one speaks English better than her.
You should have said so earlier. How's your English?
I don't understand English.
She didn't know.
Oh, I see. Hi, brother. Nice to meet you.
To meet you. Hi, my name is Dennis.
Okay, can I interview you? Where are you from?
I'm from Lhasa.
What's your major?
My major is music.
What kind of instrument do you play?
Jiangnian key, piano, and another one.
How about rap?
No.
No rap at all? Does anyone know how to rap?
That guy over there.
Rap? Does anyone know how to sing?
We all know how to sing.
Can you sing a song together?
Of course!
Alright, let's go, guys. What song is that?
It's a welcome song.
Alright.
It's a welcome song to give blessings.
They just delighted us with a piece of song that was getting me excited. I wanted to sing along with them, but I couldn't get the lyrics right. And that's because they were singing it in the local language. Something that we Latinos have very much in common with Tibetans is that we like music, dancing, and parties. That's something we share, making us more than brothers.
At this university, just like in the rest of China, the #1 and most convenient means of transportation is electric scooters. Here they have it pretty organized. I remember when I was at Suzhou University, the piles of electric scooters that were there. But here it's going pretty well. The truth is, these campuses are quite large. So sometimes if you don't have time to move from one building to another, these little scooters also help you get to your next class. If it's in another building or to your dorm, they told us that the student ones are over there, but well, it's their private life. We're not going to invade it any further, but we had a great time with them.
All of these are the facilities for the professors. Some, who are the experts and the most experienced, live over there in the big houses, and the others live in these apartments conveniently located inside the campus and next to the university. Now we're going to enter the La Universidad Museum, and this is a very interesting museum because all the art found here was made by local students or professors. Some of them are already retired, many of them are still at the university, but their work will live forever within the walls of this museum. And some of the most outstanding works are also sent to museums in other parts of China that honor Tibetan culture.
We also came across this book at the exhibition, which has photographs of fashion shows that have been held with Tibetan fashion students. And as you can see, they have several elements from the garments we saw earlier.
The students are preserving the historical and ancient culture, but in a modern way. In short, you could say that they are modernizing their outfits and turning them into something they can share in their daily lives and even take to international runways. Look, this really does look a lot like the traditional dress. It shows here that Tibetans, well, have to wear clothes suitable for the cold. So, a lot of their clothing was generally made with furs. Our next stop inside the university is my favorite. Because during the 15 years I was a student, I always participated in American football, soccer and basketball. And I'm sure that today we're going to crush a few Tibetans. Brothers, can we join the game?
It's been 3 weeks since Max had surgery and he hasn't even gone for a jog yet. And the first thing that came to Max's mind was to come play basketball at 3,650 meters above sea level.
They have all kinds of sports, they have soccer, they have badminton, they have basketball, and they're really good at what they do. But the most impressive thing is that by exercising in such a high place, their bodies become adaptable to pretty extreme conditions. I need oxygen. If we kept playing, we could probably end up having serious problems like an embolism. So we have to be careful and we can't just show off, and we always have to breathe from our little oxygen can, which is vital.
I can't believe what I just saw.
I got married?
Almost 4,000 meters high.
No, but if I watched the video, I'd be embarrassed for myself.
If you don't know, they'll lose.
Well, it cost us an arm and a leg, but I think we gave the Tibetan kids a good lesson.
He's not satisfied with having been destroyed by the altitude of Shijang. Now he's going to play soccer, carrying his little oxygen tank.
Pass it long, pass it long. Dude. Dude. The experience was phenomenal. It was much better than we expected. Because not only did we have the chance to see the classrooms, to attend some classes, to talk with the students, but we also got to play with them, sing and dance. And it was really nice. We even made some friends. In fact, they invited us to their homes, and we're going to break the itinerary we had planned to go and see how a local family lives in the city of Lhasa. I just hope it wasn't a courtesy invitation, one of those where they expect you to say no, but well, he insisted. So let's go. We're arriving at the community where the person who invited us to his house lives. The other one? I'm Max. I'm from Mexico. She's my wife, Noelia. This neighborhood is very beautiful. I really like the architecture here. It's clearly Tibetan style.
Now they're renovating old buildings in the district. They're improving them for everyone.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you. Do you speak English? Should we take off our shoes?
It's not necessary.
Thank you. Hello?
He's my dad.
Is he your dad?
Yes. Nice to meet you.
Your house is very beautiful.
Very beautiful. Wow.
Hello. Hello, little one.
Hello?
This is my son.
Your son? What's your name?
My name is Liu Yuan.
Liu Yuan? What a beautiful name. Do you speak English?
A little English.
Thank you.
This is our Tibetan culture.
How beautiful.
Lhasa welcomes you.
Thank you all.
Which country are you from?
I'm from Mexico, she's from Spain. It's our first time in Xichang, so we're very excited. It's our dream. How beautiful, what an opportunity.
Where did you learn Chinese?
I learned it throughout my travels. I like talking to local people, getting to know how each place lives.
Life itself is the teacher.
Exactly, you never stop learning. That's right.
Local tea?
Is it like milk tea?
Something similar.
It's milk tea. Do you prefer butter tea or this kind of tea?
Both are fine.
Are both fine? Chocolate or tea?
I like everything.
You like everything? You're very clever. Do you know how to speak Tibetan? Can you teach me? It's my first time here.
Now we're learning the Tibetan alphabet. Look, they're letters.
Did he make them?
He wrote everything. I write a letter first, then he copies it here.
Wow. He's teaching his grandson Tibetan. What letter is this, for example?
What? Each letter is practiced this way. But it has many additional signs, for example, signs above and below. And when they are combined, you have to add more signs. There are a lot of them.
What is your name in Tibetan?
My name in Tibetan is Yagola.
What do your friends call you? You have many names.
My friend calls me Liu Yuan.
Does everyone here have two names? One in Tibetan and another in Mandarin? Or how does it work?
Yes, because our family is ethnically mixed.
We didn't want to stay too long so as not to bother them, but the conversation and the opportunity to enter their home was incredible, because this family has been here over 80 years. The grandfather is a translator actually from Tibetan to Chinese Mandarin, and he dedicated his whole life to studying the language, which can be quite complex. He told us how much Lhasa has changed over the years, just like the rest of the country.
When he was a child, the only way to get to Lhasa was by car. It took several days to get here. There were 2 roads. From Chengdu, it was 10 days. I took that road several times.
But what about the roads?
Which roads? There weren't any. Back then, there weren't even cement roads, only dirt roads.
Wasn't it a little dangerous?
It was extremely dangerous.
When did the high-speed train start?
The high-speed train, I think it was in the 80s or 90s.
They went from not having trains to having high-speed trains, from not having highways to having highways with anti-seismic technology that many other countries would like to have. And they went from being an area without a university to having one of the best universities in the country. Just imagine what that means and how life has improved, not only in Xizang but across the country. Bye friends, see you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. High five. Inside Xizang, there are not only Tibetans but also other ethnic minorities with different languages. She is Membazu. Can you show us how to say something in your dialect?
Of course, something simple.
Come on, something easy.
I'm going to introduce myself in my dialect.
None of them understood you? You don't understand either? Could you say it in Tibetan now?
Okay, understood.
Wow, now you understand, right?
Grandpa does understand, right?
In daily life, we use Tibetan more.
There are few Menba in Lhasa. There are very few of us. We're China's smallest minority.
You are unique and one of a kind. Nice to meet you. This is a unique opportunity to meet people from an ethnic minority that is very small. And they just told us that here in Xizang there are many minorities besides the Tibetans. And she's part of Membatsu. So, she can speak 3 different languages that are completely distinct, and the same thing happens to many people in this big country. And the most interesting thing is that the language she speaks is only preserved orally since they don't have a way to write it. Just imagine that. Our next stop is Nanshan Park, which is the largest man-made park in all of Lhasa and is a great achievement. Because being able to plant all these trees here and create these artificial lakes was quite a challenge, especially at this altitude. And from here, you get an impressive view of the Potala Palace, which is behind us. In fact, many people like to go hiking to the top of this small mountain to get the best view of the Potala Palace, which is behind us. Do you want to go up to the top of the mountain?
I'd love to, but we don't have time since we're having something traditional for dinner. Let's just say I don't feel like climbing. It takes about 2.5 hours to get up there.
No, and after all the running we did earlier playing basketball and everything, my energy is already starting to run out.
My energy is dwindling?
It's dwindling. I'm sure many novels have been inspired by these wonderful views.
The weather has been wonderful. Today reminded me of the weather in Milaoya, Toluca.
We already have a new tour guide today. Are you our new tour guide?
That's right, I'm the new guide.
Excellent.
He just landed from Africa.
You're local, right?
Yes.
Did you grow up here?
Yes. I was telling them that before this mountain didn't have a single tree. Since 2012, the central government and the region have paid attention to Lhasa. The trees were planted in layers with the purpose of reforesting the area. Now everything is green. It's the greenest area in Lhasa.
Our guide just told us that one of their biggest tasks is to reforest the entire valley so that it looks green. But that involves many challenges. For example, the top of this mountain is over 4,000 meters high. So carrying the seeds up and watering the plants is a very complicated task. So what they're doing nowadays is using drones to bring up all the resources so that workers, like our guide, can plant those trees more easily. And before, they used mules for this, which took a long time, but even so, they've made a lot of progress. At this new pace, I estimate that in about 10 years we'll be able to have the whole valley green again, and it's going to be very beautiful. So take note of today's image, 2025, and compare it to the image we might see in 5 or 10 years.
We just arrived at what seems to be part of the center of Lhasa. Everything is decorated, it's super beautiful, and now that night has fallen, there's a lot of lighting. And this place behind me is the restaurant where we're going to have dinner today. Thank you. And this is how the people at this restaurant welcome us. What is this?
Throw it in the air 3 times. 3 times. Again.
3.
This one too?
1, 2,
2.
3.
Does it mean good luck?
Yes, it's a symbol of good fortune.
We've already entered the restaurant and it's like being in a kind of Tibetan estate. Let's say it's like one of those houses that had rooms around the sides and a central courtyard in the middle. We're going to have dinner upstairs. What an amazing place. I'm so excited. Look at how beautiful this place is, this restaurant, and this is just the beginning. Look at the room where we're going to have dinner. This is a birthday song entirely in Tibetan, to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you. Let's see, how is it?
It does taste like kombucha. Look at all the dishes they brought us to try. Some of them look really strange, and honestly, I don't know what they are. Many of them are vegetarian, others do have meat. For example, this one here is shack meat. Over here we have some potato dumplings with shack. Also, marinated cucumbers, mushrooms with some powder sprinkled on top. I don't know what it is. That's also a kind of pasta. It's marinated as well. This is like a jelly that's made from legumes. I don't know, it's pretty good, and the dressing is very tasty too. This is one of the star dishes of this banquet, and it's very special to the region. It's called momo, but it's a kind of croquette that has both yak and potato. And the funny thing is that they gave us ketchup on the side so we can try it. Let's see how it is. It's delicious. Hey, I'm starting to think that Tibetan cuisine is amazing. What rating would you give it?
10